Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's Zoning Board of Appeals hearing. Before we begin, let me introduce some members of town government that act as advisors to this board. To my left is Rachel Lenberger, counsel to the board. To her left is Blaise Donadio, senior planner with the planning department. To his left is Liam Trotta, planner in the planning department. To his left is Sabrina Butita. She's an environmental analyst with the Department of Environment and Waterways. You are here this evening seeking relief from the town zoning ordinance. New York State statute requires that any town that adopts zoning must also have a board of appeals to act as a relief valve, so that persons can seek relief without the expense of legal proceedings. The most common kinds of applications before this board are area variances. Area variances deal with dimensions of lot area, frontage, height, setbacks, and parking reductions. New York State statute mandates that the board must consider the following 5 criteria when evaluating area variances. When you come to the podium to present your application, please do your best to address the 5 criteria. Number 1, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created. Number 2, whether the applicant has other feasible alternatives. Number 3, whether the variance is substantial. Number 4, whether an adverse impact on the environment will be created. And number 5, whether the alleged difficulty is self-created. This board also has the authority to grant special exceptions, also known as a special use permit or a conditional use permit. This is a use that is permitted by zoning, but under specific conditions designed to ensure compatibility with the surrounding area and the overall zoning plan. If all of the general and specific requirements are met, this board must approve the application. If they are not, the board must deny unless they request variances. At that point, the 5 considerations and balancing tests shall be applied. What is the balancing test? The statute requires that the board balance the interests of the applicant and those of the neighborhood or community. The board shall grant the minimum variance it deems necessary and adequate, while at the same time preserving and protecting the character of the neighborhood and the health, safety, and welfare of the community. The board has the power to impose reasonable conditions that relate to the variances. Regarding procedures, cases will be called in the order that they were advertised. When your case is called, please come forward, submit your affidavits and mailing receipts to Mr. Donadio, and then the applicant will be given the opportunity to explain to the board why the variance is needed. Again, please address the 5 considerations. After the applicant is done speaking, all interested parties will be given one opportunity and only one opportunity to be heard. Please organize your thoughts and keep your remarks factual, related to the case, as well as variances being sought. Then we will ask the applicant to come back to the podium to address your concerns. The board will then close the case and reserve decision. After all hearings are closed, the board will review cases and decide some of them, and others will be reviewed at a later date. There are 3 ways to find out about your case. The first is you can wait until the end of the public hearing, but there's no guarantee that the board will act on your case tonight. The second way is to check the website after 11 a.m. tomorrow, and the third way is applicants can wait and be notified by mail. After the case is closed, no additional information or testimony can be submitted. This evening we have 4 adjournments, I believe. First one is case 19326, Parnell and Fritza Pierre Paul. Anyone here for that case? That case is now going to be heard on July 15th. Case 19332, Carolyn Colella and Jacob Levy. That case is going to be heard on June 24th. Case 19288, 521 Property Management LLC. That's going to be heard on July 15th. And case 19299, Lauren Gurin. That case is also going to be heard on June 24th. Blaise, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first case on the agenda, case number 19324, Anthony Peterford, 98 Sunny Road, St. James. The location of the property is the west side of Sunny Road, 358 feet north of Middle Country Road. The property is zoned R21. The applicant is requesting variances to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 16 feet to 9 feet, to reduce the total side yard setbacks from 34 feet to 27 feet, to increase the square footage of a garage from 750 to 912 square feet for a proposed 912 square foot attached garage.
Is Mr. Peterford here, or a representative? Oh, come on up. Yep, you can go right to the podium, thank you. Just state your name and address for the record, please.
George Gallo.
And we have a power of attorney. Just spell your last name and give us an address.
Yes. Last name is Gallo. First name George, George. 30 Lake Avenue South, Nesconset.
Thank you. Want to tell us why you're here?
Is he the power of attorney?
Yeah, you got it. You have the power of attorney, right?
Yeah, there's a power of attorney there.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. I've done the construction documents. I work with the construction firm that's going to be spearheading the construction of this garage, which is currently a smaller, out-of-style, makeshift garage with a gambrel roof on it. So the idea is to have a climate-controlled garage for this gentleman's cars, just a cleaner, neater look, so that his vehicles aren't exposed to varying temperatures and moisture, and it'll match the house and preserve the integrity of the community, the look of the block, is basically.
Okay, and you're removing the existing detached garage, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, anyone on the board have any questions?
Well, thank you.
Planning.
No, thank you. Just a quick question for Mr. Gallo. We don't have your affidavit of mailing. Do you have that with you?
Should be in there, the affidavit for mailing. I believe I put it in there.
Posting,
Last page?
we have the list, and we have a copy of the letter.
Okay, I definitely can get that within the next half an hour, because if it's not there, it's in the office, which is up the street, so
Is that good? Yep, okay,
I can get that for you.
thank you.
Okay, perfect. Sabrina, do you have anything?
No, thank you.
Anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? Okay, there being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, case is closed, just if you could turn that in, otherwise we can't act on it tonight.
Absolutely.
All right.
Would you mind if I stepped out and got it?
Absolutely,
off the
just
road?
drop it off when you come back.
Okay, I'll be back, thank you.
Thank you. That's all of them?
All right. The next case on the agenda, case number 19325, 318 Smithtown Boulevard LLC, 318 Smithtown Boulevard, Nesconset. The location of the property is the southwest corner of Smithtown Boulevard and Monrepose Lane. The property is zoned NB. The applicant is requesting variances to reduce the front yard setback from 60 feet to 7 feet for a proposed 6-foot chain link fence, to reduce the minimum parking from 5 spaces to 3 spaces, to permit outdoor storage of vehicles in the required front yard, to permit outdoor storage of vehicles within 100 feet of a residence district, to increase the number of permitted outdoor storage of vehicles from 1 to 3.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Vincent Tremarco. I represent the applicant. We've submitted the affidavits of posting and mailing to Mr. Trotta. At the outset, I'd like to indicate this is kind of a transitional property. It's neighborhood business zoned, but right behind it there are residences. And what my client did before he bought the property was check with the town, and the town had multiple violations on the record. So prior to him buying it and in pursuance of the contract, the seller paid numerous fines to the town for various violations that were disclosed during the contract period. When you look at the requested variances, immediately you would think, wow, this is a really big deal. But in this particular situation, when you look at the front yard setback from 60 to 7 feet, if you would look at the site plan, you can see it is a rather odd-shaped piece of property. It kind of, you can see it from Smithtown Boulevard, but it's really on non-repose lane. The building existed for many years. It used to be a small machinery repair shop. When the new owner, Scott Northrop, got into this project, the first thing he did was take down a multitude of illegal, I guess you'd call them shanties, lean-tos, carports, and so forth, in order to clean up the property and get rid of everything other than what was the main building. So the 60-foot to 7-foot and the 6-foot chain link is something that's really needed, not only for my client, but also for the neighborhood, which is right behind it is residentially zoned, as I said, property. You'll also notice from the pictures, the chain link fence has green slats in it, so it kind of hides and camouflages what will be inside on the property. The second variance, reduced parking spaces from 5 to 3. That's about all we can get in this pie-shaped piece of property. We need a variance to permit outdoor storage in the required front yard, because that's the only place we could even put vehicles. As you can see, the location of the building is far in the corner of the apex of the pie. And finally, increase the number of permitted outdoor stored vehicles from 1 to 3. Well, Mr. Northrop is in the plumbing business. He has 3 trucks, and that's the request with respect to the issue of how many vehicles should be there. Whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood, or there's a detriment to nearby properties created by an area variance, we think, if anything, Mr. Northrop took the bull by the horns and came in and really cleaned up the property, not only for himself, but also for the benefit of the surrounding community. Whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some other method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than, no, really not, especially the location of the building and the odd-shaped property. This is really the only thing that we can do. Whether the variance requested is substantial, I guess you could say it's substantial, but in this case, it's the only way to clean up and develop property that's been used for a similar type business for many years, and then my understanding is it kind of fell into disrepair. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. This is a building that'll contain a half bathroom, and there is really no adverse environmental situations. Mr. Northrop is a plumbing contractor. the trucks leave in the morning and come back at night. There is really no activity during the day other than maybe some office use. Whether the difficulty was alleged self-created. Well, I guess you could say, yeah, he created something by buying a terrible lot, but on the other hand, somebody had to do it, and somebody had to come in there and clean it up and make it the best it could be under the circumstances. So we asked the board for its favorable consideration. Again, bearing in mind that before my client even bought it, I know he spoke to people in the town to see what they thought could be done to better the appearance of the building and make it workable for him. So we asked the board for its favorable consideration. If you have any questions, I'll try and answer them.
All right. Anyone on the board have any questions?
No, thank you.
Planning.
Just a couple of comments for the board, Mr. Chairman. As Mr. Tramarko stated, this property actually borders right on a residential area. There are houses to the southwest of this property. We do recommend making a couple of changes to the proposed site plan. The first is that instead of using a chain link fence, we would recommend using an estate-style fence. It would probably blend better in with the character for residential homes that are right near it. Additionally, we would recommend that the fence be set back 6 feet from the front property line instead of 5. We would certainly recommend that the applicant do some supplemental plantings in the front yard regarding trees. And 2 items actually on the site itself. There is a proposed gate for the outdoor storage of the vehicles that will, I'm assuming, secure the vehicles in the evening after business hours when nobody is there. We would recommend that the gate match the gate that's around the perimeter of the property as opposed to a chain link. And the other item is that there is an area designated on the site plan next to the outdoor storage of the vehicles that's striped, but it's not called out what that area is being used for. If it's just a paved area or a concreted area that's not being used for something specific, we would recommend that we put some additional landscaping on the site as well.
Mr. Tramarko, you want to comment on that?
I don't know if my client,
Right here. How you doing? I'm Scott Northrup, the owner. The striped area is a concrete slab.
Can you use the mic?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
My name is Scott Northrup. That's a concrete slab that goes up to my front door on the building.
Okay. No, I think they're talking about the other one, on the other corner.
The commercial parking in the back.
What is he talking about?
well, Mr. Chairman, the only one I see is the one closest, how can we?
Is he
It's,
adjacent to the commercial vehicle storage?
It's, what is this? I used to be able to read upside.
See it up on the screen?
Oh,
There's a
commercial
striped
vehicle
area next to the
storage.
parking.
Is that what you're talking about, Blaze? Next to where it says
Right,
commercial?
right up there on the screen.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one that's the concrete slab, right?
No, that's the backyard, right?
Yeah, no, right here.
Yeah, that's the gate, when you pull into the gate into the backyard.
This is where it says vehicle storage.
Yeah, it's a gated yard right here. So when you pull in, the gate is right there with the stripes on. That's the first turn into the gate. There's a rolling gate on both sides. There's a rolling gate on this side, where the stripes are, and a rolling gate on the other side.
According to your site plan here, it says existing curb and apron to be removed and curb cut closed there.
So there shouldn't be a gate there.
Yeah, there's a gate there existing now. They're telling me, the town mentioned that they want it gone.
Okay.
So is that a fact?
We're asking, so we just want to know what your site plan called for. If that was part of your application, then obviously
we're
you
gonna
don't
leave it.
need that,
We're gonna leave it, if we can.
so you're gonna have two.
It's a concrete pad, so we would leave it because it's part of the entranceway getting in there. Am I correct?
Can I? Sorry, I'm his wife. I've been talking to the architect.
Just name and address, please.
My name is Andrea, and I'm at 503 Michigan Street. So that striped area next to the commercial parking is slated right now to be concrete. The architect is closing that gate on Monrepo Lane, and we're going to put a curb cut there, or close the curb cut, so that there's no residential access from that back gate, per, I guess, conversations between the architect and the town.
So, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
After the gate is removed and it's closed up in that area, will the concrete remain, and if so, what will it be used for?
I mean, I guess the plan is to just concrete over. We had worked with the county to install a new IA system,
Okay.
and that's underneath there.
That striped area is where the IA
Well,
system is going?
yeah, that's part, well, it's where it is now.
Okay.
So we were gonna concrete over that way it's, with the weight of the vehicles next to it, it just kind of kept the same aesthetic in the fenced-in area.
Okay. All right, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I have one comment. Blaze indicated that he would prefer, or the planning department would prefer, an estate fence. And that might be so, and it's just my opinion. An estate fence is, you can see right through an estate fence, and you're going to see the trucks, and you're going to see the building. If you kept the chain link fence with the slats, it would be less visible to the neighbors. I don't know that an estate fence is going to make that place look any better. It'll just give people a clear view right into the facility. And the other comment is, I don't know, did you mention 6 feet as opposed to 5 feet?
The setback, yes.
Okay, do you have a problem with 6 feet?
So it's just an additional foot?
Yeah. But that'll mean moving the chain link fence, so if the board considers the planning department's recommendation for a chain link fence, I guess it doesn't matter. But if it would consider leaving that fence there, I think it would make more sense than, why would we move the chain link fence 1 foot back? Again, I think it protects the people in the area much better when you can't see in it, but obviously that's the board's decision. Thank you.
Sorry, can I say something too? I'm sorry.
Sure.
In regards to the fencing, there's some kind of housing across the street behind Little Vincent's, and it seems like people come from there. We've had 3 attempted vandalization attempts on the building, and my husband's trucks, they're the Sprinter vans. They have all plumbing materials in them. They're very costly. So our fear is that someone's going to break into them and steal everything, since they're coming from that place. So, like, we want the high fence just to protect that. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Anyone in the, oh, Sabrina, did you have anything?
No, thank you.
Anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Case is closed. Got that? Go. Got all your notes?
The next case on the agenda is case number 19327, Thomas Wolfer, 10 Greenwich Road, Smithtown. The location of the property is the southwest corner of Greenwich Road and Stuyvesant Lane. The property is zoned R10. The applicant is requesting a variance to reduce the setback to the front lot line on Stuyvesant Lane from 10 feet to 8 feet for an existing 6-foot PVC fence.
Good evening.
Hi, my name is Thomas Wolfer, 10 Greenwich Road, Smithtown, New York. We're requesting variance to reduce the setback as it was said, from 10 to 8 feet for an existing PVC fence on the corner. If you look at the pictures, you see that that the other neighbor has exactly the same thing. You know, it gives us more room in the backyard for the dogs, and we have an existing, well, we have a pool in the backyard, and because of the pool, there's a need for more space, you know, and for children to play further away from the pool, that kind of thing. So basically, that's why we're asking this.
Okay.
I don't know what else I need to say. I've never done this before.
Okay, no problem. And it's exactly like the one that's right across the street?
Yeah. Well, if you look at the picture, you'll see that the one across the street is a little bit closer to the sidewalk. We have the big trees going down the side with all the roots that came up and kind of messed everything up on that side. So we're putting, well, we put topsoil down, we're putting some mulch on top of that. We're going to plant, you know, like the other side, we're going to plant trees along the fence line to make it look aesthetically nice. It shouldn't be any environmental impact at all, you know. And the neighbors, you know, they're fine with that. So.
See if we have any questions. Anyone have any questions?
No, thank you.
Planning,
No, thank you.
Sabrina?
No, thank you.
Anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, case closed, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
The next case on the agenda is case number 19328, Kathleen Hill, 86 Deer Valley Drive, Nesconset. The location of the property is the south side of Deer Valley Drive, 400 feet south of Snowdance Lane. The property is zoned R6. The applicant is requesting a variance to permit a deck to extend more than 10 feet from the rear of the dwelling unit for a proposed 300-square-foot deck.
Hi, good evening. Kathleen Hill, 86 Deer Valley Drive, Nesconset. I'm seeking a variance to build a deck extending out to 12 feet due to the fact that the existing patio is 12 feet. So we don't want to make it smaller. Apparently, the survey showed 10 feet. And the deck actually measures 12. The patio actually measures 12. So that's what we would like to do. Continue the same layout. Shouldn't be any impact to anything really. Make the property look nicer. And I received pretty much 99% of my returns with no objections that I know of.
Okay. Anyone on the board have any questions?
No, thank you.
Planning,
No, thank you.
Sabrina?
No, thank you.
Anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Case closed. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next case on the agenda is case number 19330, Matthew Rea, 6 Riviera Drive, Smithtown. The location of the property, the south side of Riviera Drive, 125 feet east of Daphne Place. The property is owned R10. The applicant is requesting variances to reduce the minimum front yard setback from 40 feet to 26 feet for a proposed 498 square foot first floor addition. a proposed 566-square-foot second-floor addition, and proposed 36-square-foot front roof over porch. Increase the maximum permitted paved surface in the front yard from 25% to 31% for an existing asphalt driveway. Increase the maximum permitted paved surface in the side yard from 25% to 40% for existing concrete paving. To reduce the minimum setback of a retaining wall from a lot line from 4 feet to 0 for an existing 4-foot masonry retaining wall.
Good evening.
Evening. So, my name is Matt Rea. I'm the owner of 6 Riviera Drive. I live there with my wife and 2 kids, and we're looking to do extension on the house. We found that as the kids get bigger, the house gets smaller. So we decided to do this investment into our house and look to extend the front of it. We submitted plans to the building department. The plans examiner identified some items that we need a variance for, which I'm requesting tonight. The extension we're looking to do would extend the house 15 feet towards the street. This extension would require us to reduce our setback to 26 feet instead of the minimum 40. This request is similar to what other properties in the block have done before. We kept the design and setback similar to the other projects that have been done in the neighborhood. Outside of this extension, the plans examiner also identified some existing conditions on the property that we need a variance for. The first one is front yard over paving. We're requesting to increase the front yard over paving limit from 25% to 31%. We recently made our driveway larger to accommodate our family's camper. We kept the overall size of the driveway to that of other driveways in the neighborhood. However, given the odd shape of our lot, it's not square, it's more triangular. We did go over slightly. So we'd like to keep the driveway as is, just for the storage of the camper and our family's vehicles. The second item is the retaining wall setback. We're requesting to reduce the setback of the retaining wall from 4 feet to 0 feet. The reasoning behind why we put the wall where it was because on my neighbor's property to the east of us, there was a wall there that was failing and dirt was coming onto our side. So while we were doing the driveway project, I asked my contractor to extend out my existing retaining wall on the east side towards the street just to stop that and hold the soil back. Since then, both my neighbor and I have worked on landscaping in that area in order to increase the aesthetic appeal. We'd like to keep it as is. And then lastly, the side yard over paving, we're requesting to reduce the side yard over paving limit increase the side yard over paving limit from 25% to 40%. The east side yard of my property is paved with concrete. This is existing from the previous property owner. I'd like to keep it as is since I utilize that area for storage of brush, leaves, garbage, pallets of wood pellets for our fireplace. It just keeps the area clean and not as muddy. It's a heavily trafficked area. So in summary, looking to this project to stay in our neighborhood. We moved to the neighborhood about 16 years ago, and we enjoy the area. We have good neighbors. Our kids have friends in the area. They enjoy going to Smithtown Elementary School. So based on many factors, including those, we'd like to invest in this house and stay here longer.
Okay, thank you. Anyone on the board like to be heard on this application?
No, thank you.
No. Blaze?
No, thank you.
Sabrina?
No, thank you.
Would anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Case is closed. Thank you.
The next case on the agenda is case number 19331, Nicholas and Nicole Cardy, 66 Atterbury Drive, Smithtown. The location of the property is the southeast corner of Atterbury Drive and Strong's Court. The property is zoned R21. The applicant is requesting variances to reduce the minimum front yard setback from 50 feet to 38 feet for a proposed 348-square-foot second-floor addition, to increase the maximum permitted paved surface in the rear yard from 25% to 31% for existing paver patio.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Vincent Tremarco. I represent the applicant, I've submitted the affidavits and posting and mailing to Mr. Trotta. As you can see, this is a corner property. Obviously, our code says you have 2 front yards, and the first variance that we're asking for is a second-story addition. So the first thing I looked at was what happened with the first story house with that projection out there, and I looked at the property card, and I said, well, there must have been a variance, but the property card doesn't show a variance. But in any event, it is and must be the same size. The first floor is 38 feet from the boundary line of my client's property. So really, all we're asking for is a second-story addition with the same setback as the first story as it existed for many years. The second variance is a request from 25 feet, 25% to 31% for existing pavers. If you look at the site plan, you'll see that there's a driveway that comes back, and then there are pavers around the swimming pool, which increases the percentage allowable from 25 to 31%. So we don't believe that the change would produce an undesirable change in the character of the area, and it won't be a detriment to nearby properties if this board grants the variance. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some other method. Obviously, this is the only place to go is up, and we're conforming to the first floor, which somehow was granted years ago. Let's see, well, I can't tell the property card cut off the date, but it was a while ago. Whether the requested area variance is substantial, I guess not, because you can see that the 38 feet was there already on the first floor, and the reduction from 25, increase from 25% to 31% for existing pavers basically is de minimis. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood, we think not. If there is any applications other than to the town, my client will make them. And whether the difficulty was self-created, it wasn't. We haven't built the extension. We're asking for permission to do so. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone on the board have any questions?
No, thank you.
Planning.
No, thank you.
Sabrina?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The building department has noted that a portion of the existing northern 6-foot PVC fence that's along Strong's Court encroaches up to 4 feet into the town right-of-way, and we recommend that they contact the highway department regarding the removal of the encroachment.
Thank you. Mr. Tramarko, I was informed by the town attorney that the town attorney's office is working on, is it a standard encroachment application? It's a permitting process. They'd
Yeah,
like-
I've done it a few times. I understand, and we will do that.
Okay, they're asking that we just withhold a decision until that, at least that application is submitted. I believe they have it currently at the town attorney's office? Yes. Is that a
Okay,
problem?
we'll do it tomorrow.
Okay.
That's fine. Thank you.
Anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, case closed. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next case on the agenda is case number 19333, Michael Schlitz, 4 Timberbrook Road, Fort Salonga. The location of the property is the northeast corner of Timberbrook Road and Brookfield Road. The property is zoned R43. The applicant is requesting to reduce the minimum front yard setback from 60 feet to 23 feet for a proposed 288-square-foot shed, to reduce the minimum front yard setback from 60 feet to 30 feet for an existing 80-square, to permit environmentally sensitive lands to be altered for groundwater less than 10 feet, to permit structures within 100 feet from any wetland.
Good evening.
Hi, my name is Michael Schlitz, 4 Timberbrook Road, Fort Salonga. Our application is for a variance for a shed that is already existing, that when I put it in place, did not know that that was so close. I mean, thought we were set back far enough. On our original survey, there was no indication of that it was a 60-foot because of the wetlands. So we had fallen short, we found out, and the construction of a newer building for more storage for our garden. We like to do a lot of outdoor stuff, so between housing or furniture and things like that, we don't have much storage in our house. It's a walk-up, so we don't have an attic as well because it's built in 45. We actually have a loft and things like that, so it's really a small house. So that's why we're here today.
Okay. See if anyone has any questions. You guys have any questions?
Nothing.
Planning.
No questions, but I do want the board to be aware that the next-door neighbor to the applicant, I believe it's Lynn Anderson.
Yes.
She was before the board a few months ago with an identical application. Obviously, we did have to wait for the LWRP review and the SECRA to be issued, but the board approved the request as requested.
Okay, thank you. Sabrina?
Yes, and until it receives LWRP approval, then we can complete our review, so we need that first.
Do you understand what that means?
No.
Neither do we.
Okay, no problem.
No. So we have to wait for DEW to give us a recommendation for the SECRA review,
Okay.
which is the State Environmental Quality Review Act.
Okay.
She can't do that until the LWRP is decided.
I just
or-
wanted to ask you quickly, I believe it's last week, early last week or late the week prior. I called and left a message for you regarding the LWP application.
Okay.
Did you get that voicemail?
Perhaps
No.
not. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the
If it's
LWRP,
unknown, I'm not-
we've had
I
all
don't
these
answer
cool
usually.
acronyms that just mean paperwork.
Okay, I'll look for, okay, so,
Yeah, just fill that out at the planning department and then
Okay.
we can proceed.
Give us a call or you can stop by.
okay.
Okay. Let's see if there's anyone here. Anyone here like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, case closed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
The next case on the agenda is case number 19334, Forest Beach Country Club HOA, 1 Bonnie Drive, Fort Salonga. The location of the site, wow, excuse me, the north side of Sound Road, 500 feet west of Bonnie Drive. The property is owned R43. The applicant is requesting a variance to permit environmentally sensitive lands to be altered for slopes greater than 15% for a proposed ADA-compliant ramp.
Hi, good evening. My name is Mark Eicher, 12 Bonnie Drive. So the reason, E-I-C-H-E-R. Okay, welcome. So the reason we're requesting the variance, one is to construct the ADA-compliant ramp to replace the existing ramp. But what started this project is an erosion issue we have from water cascading down the parking lot to the northern end where it's jumping the curb and causing erosion at the base of the existing ramp that goes to the top of the structure, the existing structure that's there, and also it's eroding the staircase that leads to the lower deck and then on down to the beach. To address this issue, we hired Nelson and Pope to come up with a plan that would basically resolve this issue. Nelson and Pope, again, designed the plan that's before you. And so that's basically where we are right now. We don't think that that would cause any detriment or to the environment or to the neighborhood. As far as any other solution, this is basically the best or only solution that we have to resolve this issue.
Anyone on the board have any questions?
Thank you.
No? Planning?
No, thank you.
Sabrina?
No, thank you.
Anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All right. And we can act on this one tonight, right? We have?
You have everything you need, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
The next application is case number 19323, Michael and Kristen Sferaza, 26 Kenny Street, Hauppauge. The location of the property is the south side of Kenny Street, 162 feet west of Bow Drive. The property is zoned R15. The applicant is requesting a special exception to permit temporary living quarters for a parent.
Hi, good afternoon. Mike Sferaza, 26 Kenny Street, Hauppauge. We submitted this when we bought the house in 2017. There was already, this addition was already in place. Had no idea that we needed a special exemption for it. It was come to my attention earlier this year that we did need a special exemption. I'm just going through the process of trying to get said special exemption. It's for my wife's mother. We have done no alterations, no construction. It's been existing, and this was actually approved in 1983 when the previous owners put the addition on and put the special exemption request in.
All right. Anyone on the board have any questions?
No, thank you.
Planning?
Planning prepared a planning advisory report after reviewing the application, and based on the fact that the board had previously approved the request in September of 1983, we recommend approval.
Okay, thank you. Sabrina?
Thank you.
All right. Anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next case on the agenda is case number 19329, J. Nazaro Partnership, LP, Taco Bell, 501 Route 111, Hauppauge. The location of the property is the east side of Hauppauge Road, 200 feet south of Smithtown Bypass. The property is zoned OB. The applicant is requesting variances to increase the maximum height of a wall sign from 15 feet to 20 feet for a proposed 13-square-foot wall sign, to increase the number of wall signs from a maximum of 1 to 3 signs.
Good evening.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. Kevin Ream with an office at 275 Broad Hollow Road in Melville. This case was,
Do we need a power of attorney?
Yes.
yeah, it was in
We
there.
have it?
Yeah, I picked it up this afternoon.
Look, it usually says it. We're good? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
REIM as in Mary. This Taco Bell was in front of your office back in, I think, May of last year. If you remember, there is an arch there, and originally it was proposed that we were gonna exceed above the roof line. Conversations with planning, we've cut that down. There was a bell, actually on top of that arch. Since then, that bell has been removed. The reason we're in front of you tonight is because that arch actually has a purple light for Taco Bell that's within the arch, so they are considering it a sign. So from what you saw recently, it's gotten better. We've actually have removed the sign since it was last here. And like I said, this arch was always shown on the plan. It was just never called out that it had a light on it.
Okay, anyone on the board have any questions?
I think.
Planning.
No, thank you.
Thank
Sabrina? Anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Case closed. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Ream.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. It's 10, that one's adjourned. That one is adjourned. That's it? That concludes our open meeting for tonight, or actually the public. Case 19324, Anthony Peterford.
Okay, on case 19324, I'll make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second?
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries 5-0. Case 19325, 318 Smithtown Boulevard LLC.
On case 19325, can we have some discussion?
Yep.
Second?
Yeah?
What do you
Need
guys?
a second on it?
No, not yet. We need we wanted to discuss the fence.
Yeah.
The fence that the town's proposing, is it a solid fence?
No, it's a state style, so basically it's a black structure. You know, it's got horizontal and vertical bars like you would see around in
Yeah.
a state.
And how
It
tall?
is see-through, but
Yeah.
in addition to the fence, we also recommended that they do plantings along the street in front of the fence.
It looks like, according to their site plan, that they planned on putting a hedgerow. Did you see that on the site plan?
Yes.
Hedgerow, like a planted
A
hedge.
row of hedges.
Yes, a row of hedges is
A row of
another way of
hedges.
saying hedgerow.
It's for the layman, Tony, come on.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it is neighborhood business, so it is in a residential neighborhood. It might, I could go either way. The slatted fence does hide what is going on behind the fence, you know, which may,
She's worried about robberies and stuff. What's there that he's referring to?
there's nothing there. Right now, they're planning on putting a plumbing business, I believe.
So I believe he's a plumbing
They
contractor,
said there's some kind of
so
development there that people are coming from.
there
that-
are houses, if you look at that right up there, to the east, there is what used to be a trailer park. And I believe that there are some kind of houses over there now, because they got rid of
Residential?
the trailer park. And also, when you look at the site to the southwest, there's more single-family homes. So there's a lot of residences in that immediate area. But I wasn't aware that there was any kind of, criminal activity going on over there,
You'd mentioned, because I guess Little Vincent's opened very late.
I guess.
Possible.
What are you considering, you said a state fence, how tall did you consider it?
6 feet.
6 feet?
Yeah, we don't object to the height of the fence. It gives them a little bit of security.
Mhm.
And we, obviously, there are merits to going with a slatted chain link fence as well, because it'll be 6 feet, it wouldn't be see-through. But we're looking at it from the point of view if you were living in a house across the street, what would you
Curb
rather look
appeal.
at? Yeah,
I guess.
exactly.
State fence is a lot nicer.
Yeah.
Could you also go with a PVC fence? It's like white PVC, so you don't see it?
I mean, generally on commercial sites, we don't recommend it unless there are no other options.
PVC has absolutely no security whatsoever. You can just
Yeah.
push it right in.
Yeah.
The kids go through them all the time, TikToks.
And then the relocating it to 6 feet instead in lieu of 5, is that just to give them a little more plant that area?
Yeah, that was the idea, you know, but they're saying that the fence that they want to maintain is already existing at 5 feet. They don't want to remove it and replace it, and they want to plant in front of it. So
To give
it's,
them the option with the slotted fence, maybe just put more bushes to hide
So
it all.
we could condition it that it's a densely planted buffer in front of it, as per the Board of Site Plan. They have to go to site plan, right?
yes.
Okay.
And you were proposing for them to move that too, right?
And then
We recommend it.
Can we see the residential picture again?
So you're recommending that you keep the fence and put dense planting in front of it?
That's what John suggested. There was another concern that planning had about the outdoor storage, that section that was delineated as a concrete slab.
So I believe the applicant's wife said that that's where they had their new IA sanitary system installed, and they put the concrete over it to protect it in the event that any of the vehicles drove over it, they wouldn't damage the system. Does that sound right to you, Sabrina?
I don't know that answer, to be honest.
Thank you, thank you very much.
But obviously, the concern is that we would want to ensure that the outdoor storage is just for the vehicles and not for
Right, that's why I asked.
material, because it is a residential area.
Yeah,
And that, I mean, obviously, it's prohibited anyway.
it is.
Okay. So are you guys thinking approve the fence at 5 feet, or did you want to push it back to 6 feet?
I can't see taking the fence down and pushing it back for 1 foot.
Okay. Anyone
There
else?
is dirt in front of that fence, right?
There
On the
is.
picture?
Yeah.
I like John's idea of a densely planted
Yeah.
buffer along it.
Maintaining the existing fence and doing a row of hedges in front of it.
Well, we'll leave that up
Or
to the board,
hedgerow,
we'll leave that up to the
whichever one
Board of
you
Site
want.
Plan Review, but we'll just,
Maybe like a
we'll
6-foot
condition it.
row, not 6-foot high bushes, not 2-foot high bushes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to make, and that was it, right?
And they said they're taking out that curb cut,
They
right?
And
did,
stake remo-
they
and-
stated that they were taking out the curb cut
And
and
the
closing it up.
gate.
And the gate.
Okay.
Designate that concrete slab for no parking at all.
Well, parking wasn't a concern, it was outdoor storage.
So they can't put anything on that, with underneath their septic system. on
Yeah, I
top of
think
that.
that's why they put it there, so that,
Can we make a stipulation that they can't use it for anything else, for storage or vehicles or sheds? If you were concerned
yeah,
about
well,
that,
shed,
no?
obviously they can't.
Yeah.
I think that was the reasoning behind the condition, that it's only used for, their outdoor storage is only for vehicles. All right?
Okay. On case 19325, I'll make a motion.
Oh, we need a secret, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. To approve the secret.
Second?
We have a motion and a second for the secret, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion
Now, on the
carries.
merits, case 19325, I make a motion to approve the application with these conditions. Number one, that the fence can remain, but dense landscaping shall be put in front of the fence. Secondly, that the gate will be removed and also the curb cut.
Okay, and then the outdoor storage.
And the outdoor storage of vehicles will be
Only for vehicles.
only for vehicles, for 3 vehicles only.
Okay. And a
Second?
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. 5-0. Case 19326, Parnell and Fritza Pierre Paul is no action. That's adjourned until July 15th. Case 19327, Thomas Wolfer.
On case 19327, I'll make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Case 19328, Kathleen Hill.
On case 19328, I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. All right. Case 19330, you had comments?
Yes. Just for the record, our seeker is based on our understanding that there are no additional bedrooms currently being added to the existing three-bedroom, single-family dwelling. Otherwise, an increase in the number of bedrooms would require approval from the Department of Health. So, just for the record.
On the merits?
On case 19330, I'll move make a motion to move, to approve, make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. All right. 19331, Nicholas and Nicole Cardy, no action. Case 19333, Michael Schlitz, no action, pending secra. Case 19334, you have comments, Sabrina?
It was just that they needed LWRP, but they have since received it.
Received it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
On case 19334, I'll make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries 5-0. All right, case 19323, Michael and Kristen Sferaza. You have comments on that one?
Yep. Again, just for the record, our seeker is based on understanding that there are no additional bedrooms currently being added to the existing one-bedroom temporary living quarters within the existing single-family dwelling. Otherwise, an increase in the number of bedrooms would require Department of Health approval.
Okay, and on the merits?
On case 19323, I'll make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. All right, case 19332, Carolyn Colella and Jacob Levy is adjourned until June 24th. Case 19329, J. Nazaro Partnership.
On case 19329, I'll make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 19288, 521 Property Management is adjourned until July 15th. 19299, Lauren Gurin is adjourned until June 24th. These are up from the back.
Yes.
What is this?
There are things on the back.
The 18677.
Yeah. So, let me get my other thing.
What is this one letter?
Oh, I didn't tell you.
With this case, Tony, we're not going to issue a denial or any type of vote on this. We're going to send them a letter of withdrawal. So basically, if they don't respond in X amount of days, we're going to consider their application withdrawn.
Okay, so we don't have to. And is that the same for case
And the same for-
18746?
Yes.
All right, so no action on those. That's for 4? Or is there more than that?
Just to bring the board up to speed where everything is at right now, we did not receive any response from our 30-day notice letter from 18677 Maria Dzenski. We did not receive any response. Actually, I take that back. We did receive a response from the the expediter who handled the application, 18961 Lisa Richter, we were informed that the applicant withdrew their application from the building department. And 18746 Ramed Tashkent, in your packet, there is a letter from the architect or the engineer stating that they're in the process of getting approval from health. David Barnes from DEW did reach out to them via email, asking for them to send him any paperwork that they've received from the health department. I don't know if they've received anything as of yet. And 19015 Django Zoo. There is a letter in your packet from the, I believe it's the expediters, who were handling the application, and they've basically stated that they've been attempting to get health department approval since October of 2023.
So you're going to be sending them a warning letter, all 4 of them?
Possibly. Possibly all 4. At least 2, possibly 3.
So we'll know at the next meeting if we have to take action on any of them.
Yes.
Sounds good. This one we can act on, 19303?
Cuban?
Mark Cuban?
Yes.
I don't think we had a problem with this one.
Let's take a look.
So this was a temporary living quarters, and we did do a PAR on it, and we did recommend approval of the application.
Okay. On case 19303, I'll make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second?
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Was I here on that one?
Hold on, we'll tell you right now. 19303 was May 6th. I believe you were here May 6th. Was that the... Darlene, can you tell us if John was here on the 6th? Okay, so then, what about the 20th? Just the next one is on the 20th.
I think that was Gay.
Okay.
Of May? I thought it was Gay.
I know Gay came twice in a row.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
she came on the
Okay.
6th and the 20th, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so 303 is, motion carries 4-0.
4-0.
I was here on the 20th?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Case 19303, Michelle Cuban, is 4-0 approved. And then next case is 19316.
On
Jay?
case, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
On case 19316, I'll make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Hold on, let me see
Second.
my notes.
You're okay with it?
Yeah, no problem. Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that one's 5-0.
Mhm.
All right. And then we have a request for extension. New York SMSA, what case is that one?
This was a case Verizon brought before the board. They were revamping a building in the industrial park. They were installing some pretty big, I guess, like generator units. I guess it was going to be like a hub for their communications facility. And it was approved. I guess they haven't gone to site plan yet?
No, they did, they got site plan.
Oh, they did, okay. So we don't have an issue with extending it.
All right, so I want to make a motion.
On case 18938, I'll make a motion to approve the extension till 6/27, 2026.
Second?
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries 5-0. Anything else? That's
Not
it.
for me.